Boys, I know that was a lot of autism just now, but we are back with the live stream, baby. I know it's been a long, like, couple of days, since stuff with Trump. Let me take off this necklace, dude. I don't get it. Ow. I don't get it, bro. Like, gold? I don't know what's in this gold, dude, but it's giving me an itchy neck, bro. It's giving me a real itchy neck. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. But boys, a lot of news to cover today. RFK Jr., not AFK. You know what I mean? A lot of autism. A lot of autism. Oh, but boys, RFK and Trump had a leak phone call, right? A leak phone call where they're talking about the jabs and stuff like that. And last night or the day before, I believe, Trump and RFK. Well, Trump was at the Republican convention, whatever it's called. You know what I mean? Whatever it's called, boys. But we are back with the live streams. Okay. Maybe for today, but there's some more news on RFK Jr. and so we had to cover it, right? Completely forgot about just streaming on the second channel, but today's stream is gonna be a special one. It's on here and it's gonna stay public this time. I deleted the last live streams because they were kind of crazy, but that was my bulletproof vest, boys. We gotta stay protected. We gotta stay protected, boys. Okay, but RFK, man. Now he has Secret Service, I believe, or Trump, after he was almost murdered in a video game. Not in a video game, real life, right? Real life, but in a video game. You know what I mean? Now Trump might become the next president of the United States, right? He might be, especially after this and what's all going down with him. But we're getting straight into the sauce, the applesauce of this election, and I do believe that I'm probably going to vote for RFK Jr., most likely. But Trump might sway my votes. I don't know. There might have been a prophecy with what happened with Trump. We never know, right? So I talked about on the live stream, we read Revelations in the Bible, the Word of God, right? The Word of God. I mean, if you don't stand with that, that's okay. That's what I believe. I'm putting my toes down on that. Putting them down. Putting them down. But I do believe that we might be in the end times. Might be. We don't know when he's coming back, right? When Jesus is coming back to earth. But we should always be prepared, man. But let's get straight into this phone call, boys. I don't want to wait too long. Let me zoom in so you can see my face and my mustache. Boys, we're growing out the mustache again. I promised. Okay, a little too much. You might try to kiss me. I don't know. I ate pizza earlier. Even though I worked out today, I ate pizza. Bad idea. I ate 2 slices. 2 slices of pizza. Yes, sir. That's not good. Okay, who cares? Yeah, no one's here right now. Okay, that's alright. Yeah. Okay, boys, but RFK Jr. his leaked phone call. Let me do this thing real quick. Hold up, boys. Sorry, my bad. We'll get straight into the sauce. Boom. Okay, we're good. Hold up. Alright, boys. Let's get straight into it. Yeah, RFK Jr.'s call with Donald Trump. Big Daddy. No. Hello.
like it's meant for a horse, not a 10-pound or 20-pound baby. It looks like you should be giving a horse this. And it's this massive.
Giant
And then
size.
you see the baby all of a sudden starting to change radically. I've seen it many times. And then you hear that it doesn't have an impact, right? But you and I talked about that a long time ago. And anyway, I would love you to do something. And I think it would be so good for you and so big for you. And we're going to win. We're going to win. We're way ahead of the guy. And, he's interesting. He was very nice, actually. He called me. And he said, how did you choose to move to the right? So I guess that's, people say, those guys looking straight on, right? He said,
Okay, from what I heard from some sources is that Trump wants RFK Jr. to drop out of the race. Because if RFK did drop out of the race, right, boys, Trump would have more people having his back, because RFK Jr. is getting bigger and bigger, and yeah, a lot of controversies coming after him, right? A lot of things. Hold up, let me test it out, boys. Does the audio sound good? Let me know in the chat. Let me know. But RFK Jr. is getting a lot of traction. I don't know if he's on all the ballots. It doesn't really say that. Last time it said he was like on 16 ballots, right? Not that many. And it's already July. He has to be on more ballots, but that's besides the point, right? So Trump and RFK Jr. are talking about the vaccines. I'm going to shut my mouth, Japs, and let them continue chatting.
I was just showing a chart. I didn't have to tell him the chart was on all the people pouring into our country. But now I just turned my head to show the chart, and something wrapped me. It felt like a giant, like the world's largest mosquito. And it was a bullet going around. What do they call that, an AR-15 or something? That was a big gun. Those are pretty tough guns, right?
Okay, we gotta see the full call, boys. Nope, not. Only showing a minute and 40 seconds of it. Now she's talking about it. Okay, that's a W. He's on the maps, boys. Okay, he got in Georgia. He's in South Carolina. Okay, now.
The president has directed me to work with the Secret Service to provide protection to Robert Kennedy.
Yeah, with his history, right, boys? Let me not zoom in. I don't know if you want to, look into my eyes that deeply and give me a little hug or anything. That's weird. But yeah, it's about time, because if we look at RFK Jr.'s history, right, his whole family was assassinated. Not his whole family, but like in the video game, his dad and his uncle were taken out. Both of them, right, by a certain people. I'm not going to say who. I mean, we don't know. They haven't declassified all of it. But do we really trust them? Okay. Now, they're only showing 1 minute of the whole call. I don't think that's good enough, right? We need the full picture. Let's see if this shows it.
Now I just turned my head to show the chart, and something wrapped me. It felt like a giant, like the world's largest mosquito. And it was a bullet going around.
Okay, get to the point. Come on now.
It was very nice, actually. He called me, and he said, how did you choose to move to the right? So I guess that's, people say, if I was looking straight on, right? He said, I said, I was just showing a chart. I didn't have to tell him the chart was on all the people pouring into our country, right? But now I just turned my head to show the chart, and something wrapped me. It felt like a giant, like the world's largest mosquito. And it was a bullet going right. You know, it was, what do they call that? An AR-15 or something? That was a big gun. It was a
But hold up, boys.
tough.
Before we continue, I don't. The hard thing is to trust RFK a little bit after this, Bobby Kennedy, because of having a leaked call with the ex-president. Right? It's supposed to be a personal kind of conversation, right? But it got leaked, so you know that is not good. That's a huge problem, to be honest. But he did say they were recording something. Then he got the call. You know, that's like my word versus yours. So it's hard to really say, hey, you know, this is how it happened, right? All parties have to be like, no, this happened, right? But then sometimes there's a problem where it's like one person's right, and then all the other people gang up on him and say, hey, no, this is how it went. So it can be construed, right? So it's hard to say because we weren't there, right? We weren't there to really say, you know, they were recording at this time. You know, it's kind of hard to say, right? But I'll stop yapping.
Remember I said I want to do small doses. Small doses. When you feed a baby, Bobby, a vaccination that is like 38 different vaccines, and it looks like it's meant for a horse, not a 10-pound or 20-pound baby.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like you should be giving a horse this. And do you ever see the size of it, right? You know, it's just massive. And then you see the baby all of a sudden starting to change radically. I've seen it too many times. And then you hear that it doesn't have an impact, right? But you and I talked about that a long time ago. And anyway, I would love you to do stuff. And I think it'll be so good for you and so big for you. And we're going to win. We're going to win. You know, we're way ahead of the guy.
Okay, but where does the conversation lead after that? Like, what does it mean when he says, I have big stuff planned for you, right? So that's kind of RFK Jr. We need the full picture, man, because just getting like half of the interview isn't good enough, right? So let's see what this guy says, right?
Audio and video recording of a phone conversation between Donald Trump and RFK Jr. has leaked on the phone call. Donald Trump...
This
no.
920
Shut
page
up,
doc.
please. Thank you.
A secret
Let's skip.
son, Bobby Kennedy III. I'm going to play for you that video in just a moment. RFK Jr. has confirmed the validity of it and has apologized for his son leaking it in an unauthorized fashion. Bobby Kennedy III, RFK Jr.'s son, wrote the following when he posted this video clip. He said, I'm a firm believer that these sorts of conversations should be had in public. Here's Trump giving his real opinion to my dad about vaccinating kids. This was the day after the assassination attempt. If I violated some kind of law in posting this, my only wish is to have Dr. Anthony Fauci as my cellmate. This is not a cheap fake or somebody
Okay.
doing...
Yeah. Hold up. Okay, good. We're looking good. My bad.
Trump voice.
I thought my camera was in full screen. Yes, sir. Money, what's good, my guy? What's good, Money? Hope all is well, my brother. Hope all is well.
This is the real deal. He could have picked a Unity ticket. Instead, he picked JD, fire all the unvaccinated nurses. Vance.
Okay, let's skip that.
When you feed a baby, Bobby, a vaccination that is like 38 different vaccines, and it looks like it's meant for a horse, not a 10-pound or 20-pound baby. It looks like you should be giving a horse this. And do you ever see the size of it, right? You know, it's just massive. And then you see the baby all of a sudden starting to change radically. I've seen it too many times. And then you hear that it doesn't have an impact, right? But you and I talked about that a long time ago. And anyway, I would love you to do stuff. And I think it'll be so good for you and so big for you. And we're going to win.
His kid hates him? Maybe, bro. Maybe. But it doesn't, to be honest, I don't think it doesn't look good on RFK Jr., bro. It doesn't look good on Bobby. It doesn't look good, man. Because this is supposed to be confidential. Confidential. If I can pronounce that, boys. Confidential. So what's the point of the leaked call? I don't know. It could be to out Trump as to be like he's lying about his views on the jab, right? Or he's just lying about something. Or it might be an accident. So I think it's between the two. It's either Bobby Kennedy and his son wanted to out Trump to get more votes, right? To build up themselves and get ready to win the election, right? Or it could be that Bobby sold his father. Maybe. His whole family hates him, but that's not funny. Sorry. But I don't know. It's hard to tell if they had the whole thing right. If they had the whole video instead of just a minute and 40 seconds. A minute and 40 seconds, bro. That's not enough to work with, right? We need more out of this because it sounds like Trump is trying to get him to drop out of the election to swing votes his way. I mean, Trump is technically almost winning the election before it even starts, right? But it's crazy because he could be trying to sell out Trump and trying to get people to say, hey, he's lying about his views on an important topic, right? This video doesn't even specify. Yeah, that is true. He's just stating that it might not be good for toddlers, right? I think Trump is saying that. But let's continue. Let's watch it again to really get down and get dirty with it. See if we can dig a little bit deeper.
Said, how did you choose to move to the right? Because, so I guess that's, people say, if I was looking straight up, right? He said, I was just showing a chart. I didn't have to tell him the chart was on all the people pouring into our country, right? But now I just turned my head to show the chart, and something wrapped me. It felt like a giant, like the world's largest mosquito. And it was a bullet going right. It was, what do they call that, an AR-15 or something? That was a big gun. Those are pretty tough guns, right?
Shortly after that was posted by Bobby Kennedy III, it was removed. RFK Jr. then issued the following statement. When Trump called me, I was taping with an in-house videographer. I should have ordered the videographer to stop recording immediately. I am mortified that this was posted. I apologized to Donald Trump. Now, I also want to point out how phony Donald Trump is. That's obvious, but let's go through some of the data and the facts here. On April 26, 2024, Donald Trump said that he would endorse President Biden over RFK Jr. He said that RFK Jr. is a fake. Donald Trump wrote about RFK Jr. His views on vaccines are fake, as is everything about his candidacy. Let the Democrats have RFK Jr. They deserve him. And there you have Donald Trump on the secret audio recording.
Okay. Let's keep on listening, boys.
Jr. sucking up to RFK Jr. and as Bobby Kennedy III says, this is what Donald Trump is saying in private. This is also what Donald Trump is saying in public. This is a selfie video that Donald Trump made of himself on May 8th or May 9th, 2024, saying that RFK Jr. is a Democrat plant, a radical left liberal who's been put in place to help crooked Joe Biden, Donald Trump says, but now we have the secret audio.
That might be true, honestly. He might be playing us all for the fool. Or he might actually be a good guy that's not a plant, right? Because most of his family does work for the president as of now, right? So most of his family works for Biden. So he could be a plant, man. He could be. Trump might be right. Or he might be wrong. I don't know. But let's see.
Recordings of Donald Trump, so we really know what's really going on behind the scenes here. Play this clip.
I'd even take Biden over Jr. because our country would last about a year or two longer than it would with Jr. It would collapse almost immediately, and his family, a radical left, a crazy left, a bunch of lunatics, would take over, and our country will die very quickly. So RFK's views on vaccines are fake, as is everything else about his candidacy. He is not a Republican, so don't think you're going to vote for him and feel good. He's a radical left Democrat. Let the Democrats have RFK Jr. They deserve him.
Also talking about
Yeah,
what Donald
facts,
Trump
Money.
says to
I mean, you're not wrong, Money. 100%. He didn't deny the jab, right? He didn't outright say that. So it's kind of weird to see the angle of the leaked phone call, right? Because he didn't say anything like denying it, right? He was just saying some aspects of it are bad.
the public versus what we know he is doing in private. This is Donald Trump on Fox attacking RFK Jr., saying that RFK Jr. comes out strongly against all of the vaccines. Is he against the polio vaccine? Here, play the.
No, he already said he wasn't. He was just against this one, right? Against the newest one. That's all he said. He said he's not terrified of the old ones. He just doesn't like the new, right?
This clip.
Is a radical left guy, and because he came out at one point strongly against all vaccines. Now, is he against the polio vaccine? Because polio was destroying the country, was destroying the world.
Let me ask you.
Which is interesting because when Donald Trump gives.
Yeah, absolutely. We do need more of the call. I think, honestly, because it's like it only shows like short clips. Like it seems like there's a long conversation, but it's edited down with just a couple of things here and there, right? It's edited, so we don't really get the full version of it.
Remember I said I want to do small doses. When you
Okay.
Public speeches, one of the lines that he repeats over and over again is he says that he is not going to give a single penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate on anything, which would seem to invite polio and other very, very serious.
Will not give one penny to any.
The COVID vaccine works. And Donald Trump.
Work. It's such an interesting question because not only that, I also did the Regenerons of the world, you know, the whole, well, we did our Trump.
Okay. I mean, I don't think there's much of anything that we can do about this call, right? They don't show the whole thing. They just waste our time trying to out each other. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're right, Money. Nothing that's going to help us see who would be the better candidate. Right? It just seems like they're either trying to put one another in a bad light, right? I think Kennedy, Bobby, and his son really messed up big time in this because it seems edited down. I mean, there's nothing we can say, hey, you know, he said this one weird thing. And he said, hey, if you can do a lot of good stuff if you help me out, right? So, I mean, what can we do about it? Nothing, right? So, I mean, there's absolutely nothing we can do about that. But yeah, nothing we can do about this call, right? And it's getting closer to November, of course, a couple months away. And it's shown that Bobby Kennedy's going to be more on the polls, right? So he's getting inching closer. But we do have to look at, right? Is Trump right about Bobby Kennedy, right? Yeah, Bobby probably sold his father out. I don't know. Or they might have been right. You know what I mean? They might have been right. Of saying, hey, it was a mistake, right? We were recording already, and he jumped in. He called me up. He said, yo, bro, you want to go hang out with your cousin and, you know, go to an island? I don't know what he did. Not saying those guys are island people. But definitely not. Definitely not. I'm joking. I'm joking. Or they worship giant owls. You know, most of these people worship owls out there in the woods, doing special things with owls. But Trump in the past has said Bobby Kennedy isn't the person he says he is, right? And then Kennedy says no, man, no, I'm not. I'm not who you say I am, right? Kennedy's saying all these nice things, saying he's for the people. He seems relatable, right? He comes up with good things, right? I don't really stand with him on the abortion part. I don't really stand with that at all. But it's good he's getting Secret Service now because of what happened with Trump, right? I mean, that's really important because we don't want that to happen again because there would be chaos more than ever before. But I think if Kennedy says who he says he is, right, I'll vote for him. But I don't think it would be worth voting for him if he's not able to get on all the ballots. But I think Trump is also an option, right? It's him or Trump. There's no one else, right? No one else that could fix the situation we're in. The last 4 years have been horrendous. They have been terrible, awful. The worst 4 years of our country. Yeah, facts. You got to say, hey, son, you got to do a different job, right? 100%, bro. Because this really stubbed him in the foot of making any head ground. Because everybody else is against Bobby Kennedy, right? Everybody else is against RFK Jr. And I think why a lot of people vote for him, not trying to put words in their mouth or anything in their mouth, that would be weird. But a lot of people like him is because he's against the two-party system. Because the two-party system's rigged from the start, right? It's rigged. And nothing is changing with the country. We're in debt. We're in wars. We don't want to have another big war, right? Where a lot of people die. We don't want that. We want to fix ourselves and become a great country, right? Help our people out. But I just think it's just, don't stop letting Kennedy's, okay.
You know, you talked about.
Okay, this is about something that happened a long time ago. But yeah, I think it's either Trump or Kennedy, man. No Biden. Yeah, I don't think Trump will look bad, honestly, after this. Because he was in the right, you know what I mean? And it's going to make Kennedy look awful. Because it looks like he sold out someone that was trying to have a real conversation with him. And he just sold him out, dude. Practically. Yeah, I mean, there's no use in watching any more of these leaked phone calls because it's only 2 minutes long. I mean, that's not enough to come down with a firm and conscious decision, you know, but oh yeah, JD Vance. Let's do some research on JD Vance. I don't really know much about the guy, to be honest. At all. But let's do some research on the guy. Let's watch this short clip, boys.
He is the junior senator from Ohio with only 2 years in government. But J.D. Vance is one of former President Trump's biggest defenders.
I want to help Donald Trump get elected because it's really important that he become the next president.
In the Senate,
how can we defend Ukraine's borders when we're not even defending our own American border?
Okay, so he stands for a firm border. You know, reasonable.
And on the campaign trail.
The question is, are we going to send America First fighters to Washington, D.C.?
He's one of the leading voices of Trump's MAGA America First movement, not holding back and pushing the former president's agenda.
Republicans, we need to govern like we won the majority the American people gave us, not like a bunch of cowards.
Yeah.
That hasn't always been the case. This was Vance in 2016.
Right, I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him.
Wait, why did he change? Okay, now this is... Why did he change? He's probably about to say it. He looks like a baby right there. I do too. I don't have any facial hair. Don't feel like a real man with a big wiener. I don't need to say that. But, yeah, let's see why he had to change of heart, right? Might have been the first term that President Trump took office, you know?
He was deeply critical of Trump then, but here's Vance just 6 years later.
The president is right. I wasn't always nice, but the simple fact is he's the best president of my lifetime.
Why is he sucking up to President Trump? Like, what is the reason why he's sucking up to President Trump, right? Why is he sucking up to him? Is he just doing it to get power and backstab him? It's kind of like when Theodore Roosevelt was president and he was warming up William Taft and said, hey, and thought William Taft was his boy and had the same beliefs as he did, but it turned out he didn't. And when he was president, he pretty much flipped everything that Theodore Roosevelt did on its head and said, nah, doing it my way. And then Theodore was like, man, that's terrible. I'm going to run again. And he lost. Yeah, he's glazing Trump up, man. He's glazing him. He's going glizzy overdrive over here. A little too much. Okay. Yeah.
And he revealed the corruption in this country like nobody else.
Running for Senate in 2022 in Ohio as an extremely pro-Trump candidate.
I was wrong about Donald Trump. I didn't think he was going to be a good president, Brett. He was a great president.
Vance shot.
Okay, it's hard, bro. It's hard to trust this fella, right? Because, look here. He's a politician, right? All these guys are politicians, and we know how they are, right? Not trying to be, like, talking down to them or anything. But through the track record of politicians, these guys are hard to trust, right? All these people are hard to trust. Now, this guy is on Trump like white on rice, dude. He's in love with Trump, right? He used to hate him, but now he loves him. People do have a change of heart, but it's a little weird, right? It's a little odd to see someone flip like that, but it does happen. Trump might have picked the wrong guy. I don't know, but if he becomes president, we'll see. Trump can't run for a third term. That is illegal. And no other president, except for FDR, ran for like 4 times. Which I'm glad he did, because he helped the country a lot. But this guy, I don't know. Thomas Massey. Let me look up that fella. Okay.
His name is mentioned quite often as a finalist for a potential VP pick. It really seems to be coming down to you, Doug Burgum, Marco Rubio, Tim Scott. I got to imagine that's pretty overwhelming. Senator, your thoughts?
Oh yeah, after all that stuff in January, Mike Pence just said deuces, man. I don't know that guy. He said, let's not let him cook, dude. Let's let him fall into the pot, bro, and cook him. By far one of the worst vice presidents. You know, no offense to Mike Pence, but not that cool. But I don't know, just something, money, dude. You might be right, my guy. Something does feel off about this whole thing, right? this whole election. It's kind of like with Richard Nixon. You know what I mean? How he did the whole Watergate scandal. Now we have Bobby Kennedy have that leaked phone call edited down, because you can tell it's edited. It's not the full money, you know. I'm not gonna go in full detail. But it's just crazy how this whole election is going. It just feels like either something good. I don't. Just feels we're going down a terrible route, an awful route, right? It doesn't feel good. He just oh yeah, dude. I don't know. I hope he didn't sleep with a pillow on his head. You know, some outrageous things could happen. But yeah, this whole election, this whole place we're in with social media, and definitely the election, and how people wanted Trump to be alt forward in a video game, is really odd, bro. This is not a good era, honestly, especially with the election and everything. But let's find out more about this guy, man.
Sean, it's an incredible honor to be considered with those guys. I think Donald Trump has got a lot of talented people we could choose from. And the most important thing, of course, is just that we reelect him, because that's what matters, is re-delivering peace.
Okay, what is Trump going to do in office? He's a businessman, right? How is he going to fix our economy, lower gas prices, lower the foods, get us out of the places in the other parts of the world, you know? Fix our self up, right? How is he gonna do that? I know he probably can, but how? Where we could all understand this, you know, on a fundamental level.
And prosperity for the American people, and I think all of us believe that Donald Trump can.
Okay, let's stop glazing him up and get actually into the details of things, so we all have a good understanding. I hate when these politicians just say, hey, we're just gonna... It's over. The damage is done. But I just like when these politicians say, hey, it's all going to be good. But don't go in full detail of how they're going to actually change it. I know, fix the border and all that stuff. Cool. Applesauce, dog. Bananas, you know? That's how they talk. Oh, it's going to be taken care of, bro. Resources. Trust me, bro. It's all going to be good. Trust me. Only one you should trust is God. Trust in Jesus, man. That's the only thing we can do. That's what I believe, man. Maybe do without the cousin and stuff, but trust in Jesus, because none of these politicians are gonna save us. None of them, right? None of these politicians. And this guy, no offense to him, it just seems irky. He needs to put his right hand down, dude. He needs to relax. He needs to stop.
Do that, because he has done that. We have to remember, Sean, that the stakes in this election are so unusual and they're so obvious.
Yeah, but hold up. Who do we actually trust, bro? That's the thing. Robert F. Kennedy could be a plant. He could be like a, you know, potato plant or something, right? Then Trump... You know, I do like RFK, but it's like, is he going to take action in office and do the things he says he's going to do? Is he going to be talking about hope, and then once he gets in office, there's no more hope, it's all over? When Trump gets in, is he going to change things for the better, right? You know what I mean? We got to... I don't know, bro. I don't know. I want to think he's not, but, you know, he could be or he couldn't be, you know? Is he is or is he not, right? But that whole leaked phone call is kind of murky, man. It's like dirty water, bro. It's like, I don't want to drink that, right? How can we... Yeah, that just seems icky, bro. It's like, it's like some glue or some potato sauce. Like, why are they going to put that out there? Are they trying to ruin his whole presidential race? Bro, he needs to give his son a new job. No offense. You know, that'd be a tough decision to make, but if he's not a plant, there's gotta be a better way of doing things. Because he says he's all good and also bad, but then he does this, right? This whole thing might be it's the Matrix, bro. People be worshipping owls, touching each other, all man, touching each other. You know, it's kind of weird when all those people are touching each other and worshipping a giant owl. Yes, exactly. What is he going to do as vice president? Because that is a major role in office, right? You're his boy. Are you going to backstab him after you glaze him up extra? Bro, come on now. After you're doing all that extra sauce, you're saucing up in the kitchen. Or are you going to karate chop him in the neck and say it's over, dog? I got you. Like, it just seems weird that he changes from the last almost decade. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, I used to hate him. Now I love him. I'm in love with Trump, dude. I love that guy. But it's just it's a little weird, isn't it? Maybe he might be right? Maybe he actually changed his views and said Trump is pretty cool. I stand with this fella, right? We don't know inside of his heart, right? So I don't want to prejudge. Yeah, what track record does he have? Okay. We gotta find this out, boys, because okay, here we go, boys.
Donald Trump has just picked J.D. Vance for vice president. That makes it a Trump-Vance 2024.
Shout out, meet Kevin.
Vance, and what do I think about J.D. Vance? Well, I'll just be upfront. Cleaner than Vivek, but not exactly what you think of when you think of the hillbilly from Ohio, which he sort of pitched himself as.
Wait, there can be hillbillies from Ohio? I never knew that, honestly. Yeah. Never knew that. To be honest.
He published his best-selling memoir. Now, we'll talk about that in just a moment, but let's try to take this in the most unbiased manner as possible. First of all, he's a junior U.S. senator. What does that mean? He's basically brand new, okay?
He's brand new.
He joined the Senate January 3rd, 2023. He took over Rob Portman's seat. He's from Middletown, Ohio.
Okay.
He served in the Marine Corps, so he's a...
Okay, WW. He served in the Marines.
Marine.
Yeah, he served in the
studied
Marines.
philosophy at the Ohio State University.
Okay.
After he studied philosophy, he then went to get a JD from Yale Law, which is huge. So that means, you know, after he got his undergrad, he sat for the LSAT and got into Yale Law. So
I think hillbilly is more like a Kentucky thing, you know, deep in the woods, you know what I mean? Deep in the woods. In the woods. I'm in the sticks, but I wouldn't consider myself a hillbilly. You know, maybe give my cousin a hug or two, but not like that much. No offense. But I don't know if he's a hillbilly. You know?
probably scored pretty high on that LSAT, okay? That's pretty good. In the Marine Corps, he was a corporal. He was involved in the Iraq War. His memoir, Hillbilly Elegy, by the way, was a memoir about the hardships of growing up as a poor white person in social isolation, in poverty, a white community affected by drugs and addiction.
Oh, I think I remember this guy. There was a whole movie about this dude. There's a whole movie, boys. It's a pretty good movie, man. Hold up, let's search it up. J.D. Vance movie. Yeah, there's a whole movie about him. Yeah, it's a pretty good movie, boys. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. I can't believe it's this guy, not gonna lie. Yeah, but there's a whole movie about this guy. Pretty outstanding movie. I can't believe it's this guy, dude. That's insane. Let's continue.
A lot of people, he said, would describe the neighborhood he grew up in as hillbilly, redneck, or white trash, or the sticks. He says, no, these are neighbors, friends, and family. And so this is kind of how he sort of built his reputation, is that he's, you know, your classic, clean record, salt of the earth, Rust Belt American, ready to go work hard and serve the country, which, in fairness, shout out for serving in the Marines.
Yeah.
Attorney at Yale, you know, went to Ohio State. Like, this is a great background, right? And when I say cleaner than Vivek, it doesn't have this background where it's like, hey, you know, you picked up the rights to a drug that were proven to be worthless rights, and the drug had failed, and you picked up the drug for a big discount, and then you repackaged it and rebranded it and IPO'd it, and in partnerships with other pharmaceuticals, basically it also failed. But you sort of use that IPO leverage and the money you gain to go start investments into other drugs, some of which did end up becoming a success. So some argue there, like, did you kind of like trick your way into making a lot of money to produce successful drugs?
L Marines? What money?
Whatever. This is not a Vivek video. We don't have to go deep into that. I'm just saying JD doesn't have that kind of issue. The issue that JD has, if it's even an issue, is he started working in venture capital.
You know, I gotta pause it. You know that Vivek and this guy are always glazing up Trump. I know that Trump did a good job, let's be honest. We can't run from the facts. He did do actually a decent job as president, kept peace, didn't go to war. There wasn't a death for like over a year in the Middle East. You know, there are those W's as president, right? And he did build the wall like he said he did. Like, sometimes his attitude's outlandish, but he did do some of the things he set out to do, and we had a better economy at the time. So there are things that we can't overlook in that aspect, right? Sometimes, yes, outlandish, and crazy. That is a proven fact, right? But is he evil? I don't think so. Not that much, right? I mean, if we look at all the other owl worshippers, you know, it's not as bad as a bunch. But I do dislike where all these people are saying, "Oh, them liberals, them are some blue hair little idiots, man. Look at them liberals over there." And the Republicans, they're like, "Hey, those are dumb Republicans. They're probably racist, and they probably kissed their cousin a time or two, and they're really dumb." So, I mean, both sides I dislike, right? You know what I mean? I'm not in the middle. I do believe in Jesus, and I believe in a lot of Republican things, right? But I do not want to call myself or align myself with any party because they're all garbage, right? The two-party system has ruined the country. It's created division just like all the social media and politicians, right? It's like, don't vote for this guy. He's a dumbass. He's an idiot. He licks dog's feet. He had sex with an animal. Like, what games are we playing? We're trying to run a country here, boy. Hey, boy, we're trying to run a country. And you know, it's like, what are we even doing nowadays when we're just belittling another person, you know, for what reason? We should come together as Americans because that, you know, that comes first, right? And children of God, we're children of God. I probably shouldn't have said that other stuff, but we are children of God. We should come together, no matter who you are, right? No matter who you are, no matter where you come from. We're all people with struggles. And all these politicians doing is setting us apart, making us even different than ever before. Which we're not. We all bleed. We're all humans, right? We're not lizard people. Maybe some of us, I don't know. Some of us may have been drinking too much tap water. You never know, but no, I'm joking. But nah, man, all these like left or right or purple, you know, whatever they want to call it, is dumb. Honestly, when it comes down to it, all these people trying to separate us, it's dumb. They just want to create drama and war, right? That's what they want to do. Instead of us coming together as American people and as people overall, they just want to divide and make us hate each other, right? None of these politicians are going to come to our house and give us a hug. You know? And I don't think that's that cool. They don't care about us, man. They just want to use us for their brain games. They want to use our brain helmets and shake them up and give us concussions and say, you go to war with those people because we want you to. You know? And they worship owls. Lots of them. A giant one, perhaps. I don't know.
A lot of connections. It's worth knowing this. He worked in venture capital with the co-founder of AOL. He argues that, and this is sort of the criticism, right? He argues that he came from, like, the pro-white folk, but then in fairness, went to Yale Law, paid for that, worked at venture capital firms, then eventually started his own venture capital firm, receiving checks ranging from $5 to $10 million. This is a very well-connected person. When he entered the Senate race, he didn't come from nowhere. Peter Thiel donated over $10 million to the Protect Ohio Values Super PAC to support J.D. Vance for running for office.
What?
In 2019, he co-founded Nara Capital with the backing of Mark Andreessen Horowitz, one of the most famous, maybe the most famous venture capitalist in the world, Eric Schmidt, who was the former CEO of Google, and Peter Thiel.
Okay, so he worked at high-level places, had very good connections with people. I'm doing Zens, bro. Zens, they get me up, dude. They get my brain working. You know what I mean? Zens, gotta put one in. Don't do Zens, boys. Don't get addicted to nicotine. You start putting them up your butt. I haven't done that yet. I will never do that. No. But yeah, this guy, he worked at high-level places. He is either really good at networking, or he might be a plant. Either one is a possibility, right? Yeah, either one's a big possibility, man. Hold up. Okay. But yeah, this guy's worked in high-level jobs, got millions of dollars to pretty much move up in Congress and stuff like that. Let's continue watching.
$93 million for that. Before that, when he was working at the AOL co-founder venture capital firm, he worked with $150 million, and then this was in 2020, was able to raise another $150 million in October of 2020. So, like, he was a managing partner over there. He's been around a lot of money. Somehow got a lot of connections. Now, is it possible?
Wait, the thing is, how did he get to Yale, right? Some people can get really good grades, right? Score really high on the SAT. I fell asleep during the ACT, and yeah, had to have my nap, dude. Not gonna lie, had to have a good nap. Had to take a sleep. Had to sleep, bro. But he either had someone to pay off that for him, or he had really good grades.
That he grew up in a poor area, maybe got scholarships going to Yale, and worked himself up by the bootstraps. Absolutely. And I do not want to discredit any of that at all, right? It's totally possible we're, like, super poor to, like, this is how you make it in America. And you know what? I love the message, and I support it. And I actually think if that's the only criticism of JD, this guy's squeaky clean. This is what I've been saying on the channel. I think this guy is probably going to be Trump's pick. Obviously, now we know it's Trump's pick because there really isn't anything to criticize.
Bro, we're not sleeping yet, dude. We're not falling asleep. Not sleeping.
Here. Like, it's pretty good. You know, his memoir, I ordered it. I'm like, I'll read it. You know, it's from 2016. Some things have changed from there. It actually turned into a Netflix film in 2020.
Yeah, that film was pretty good. I might watch it after this, you know. From the sticks.
what a surprise. That's where Vivek is from.
From
And
the
also, what a
sticks,
surprise.
yeah.
Vivek congratulated him on X, saying that congrats to his fellow classmate, and then said, hey, we used to watch the Bengals games together during at the bar during law school. So, again, connected. 39 years old. He also beat Tim Ryan, who used to be in the House of Representatives. Remember that TikTok video during the stimulus days? Tim Ryan would do the I'm in the house poor, or whatever videos.
Yeah. No, I do not
this was
remember
back when
that.
They were trying to get like Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell to actually get some stuff moving. Now, previously, J.D. Vance called Donald Trump, quote, cultural heroin and irreprehensible.
Whoa, okay, boys. Now that's a big kind of thing to say. So he's saying that Donald Trump is heroin to our culture and not a good guy back in those times, right? And now he's flipped. He's extra in love with Trump, riding him extra hard. And he's saying, Trump, I'm in love with you. Anything you do is super cool. Super cool. I sound like I was on the circle thing. Sound like I had autism there. But this guy's riding Trump extra hard, and he used to hate him. Why did he flip? Why did he flip? That's what I'm wondering, bro. Okay, let's see.
Time if we had an election where you have one guy who governed for 4 years successfully, one guy who governed for 4 years catastrophically, and whether it's Joe Biden at the top of the ticket or Kamala Harris, who have from his disaster.
Okay, he's not gonna say. Okay. Let's continue watching.
Obviously, at some point, there was a flip-flop. In fact, he was quoted saying in 2016, quote, I think I'm going to vote third party because I can't stomach Trump. I think he's noxious and he's leading the white working class to a very dark place. Now, that did change, though. And so my question was, why did that change?
Yeah, thank you.
So the answer was, in 2021, he met Donald Trump. And I actually respected this answer. Donald Trump told J.D. Vance how some generals were basically manipulating the timing of troop redeployments in the Middle East so that they could tell Trump, oh, troop levels are coming down and we're still succeeding, when they were really just manipulating the timing of when and where troops were. So at the time of any given count, it seemed like there were fewer troops in an area. Donald Trump was really frustrated by this, and this account was...
Okay. Now his change seems reasonable, boys. Okay, it seems a little bit reasonable. Maybe we jumped on the horse of riding him in the wrong way. I think red man overall is, if you're gay, do your thing. But we don't do that here. But, I mean, that seems like a good way to change your mind, right? You go meet the person that you think is bad, and you see if he's really bad. But if he's not, he's not, But let's continue.
Later verified by James Jeffrey, an envoy to Syria, which suggested these shell games were always played with Washington. And I believe that, because politics is, about gamesmanship.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of folks in, the military get frustrated by, Washington and having to wait for permission to
with Vietnam. Vietnam was poorly handled by the government and by the other people, right? Poorly handled, just like many wars after that.
The media viewed this as motivated by sort of a Trump grudge, whereas J.D. Vance is like, no, this actually just upset Trump. The generals were lying to Donald Trump. And it was really that story in person helped J.D. Start appreciating Trump. That's at least what he argues. And that's when he started coming to actually like Donald Trump. So, again, is this to say that, the flip-flop was not motivated by getting an endorsement? No, of course not. I mean, come on. In 2021, we know this. The 10 Republicans who went against Donald Trump in the House of Representatives had an 80% chance of losing their jobs after the fact.
What?
Because going against Trump in going into the 2022 election cycle was just a guaranteed way to lose in the Republican Party.
Okay,
so, this is a cool story, but you know what? It's politics, and I appreciate it, so I can't be mad about this.
Yeah.
The guy's pro-nuclear. Let's go. The guy's pro-building natural gas pipelines more easily, more cleanly. great.
That's a W.
Super
W.
for that. I hate that California's like, no more pipelines unless they're 100% green. They're not going to be 100% green, but they could be more green. Nope, you said you're not 100% green. That limits progress, which is just like...
I think the main problem with especially social media and society, it sounds weird. I sound on the rainbow, you know what I mean, saying that. No offense to them. But I think it's not coming to natural debates and seeing each other's sides. Like, one side would be like, you're really dumb. And like, you're evil. So it's like no exchange for debate, right? I think what he said about the gas lines, yeah, we could make them more green. And I think that would be way better, right? That'd be phenomenal. Because we don't want to harm the earth. We was given the earth by God, right? And we need to take care of it instead of like cutting down all these trees. You know what I mean? And the population is getting too big. I think that... But Japan's population is going down. It's shrinking, dude. But that's besides the point, right? I want to yap on it about something that doesn't matter. But, yeah, I think his change might actually be real, right? Might actually be real. But, on the other hand, it might be fake. And we can't trust the guy, right? This election is very tough, man. This will probably determine the rest of our lives. The next 4 years. Not gonna lie. It will. This is a very serious election. I'll be staying up all night thinking about Donald Trump, having some dreams about him maybe, or RFK Jr., having some wild dreams about him. Like, just wild. No, but, yeah, this election is really big. And JD Vance is the VP pick. But it is crazy how he says he's from a small town and then got to Yale. I mean, that does happen, but it's very rare. He might be 1 out of a million, right? Or he might, and then he made great connections and he got millions of dollars, right? So that's a tough pickle to swallow, right? We don't swallow pickles over here, but that is a tough one to swallow.
Form of, a mental issue. But anyway, wants to build more housing. Says he does not like raising taxes.
Good.
On the middle class. Even though Joe Biden is arguing that J.D. Vance is a person who wants to raise taxes on the middle class.
Okay, but who should we trust, bro? Who should we trust in that kind of discussion? It's kind of hard to trust both of them. We have to see him in action. Is he going to put him in? Like, in the last 4 years, what kind of action have we seen taken? Let's be serious. What kind of action have we been seeing? The good kind? I don't know. But, yeah.
Argues that there's way more to taxes. What you really need is an economy that's growing. When an economy is growing, guess what? The share of the pie the government gets is bigger. I actually appreciated that argument. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, let's work to grow the economy. So
yes, sir.
You streamline regulation.
Yes.
Okay, I like that. Now, some have said he's kind of pro the FTC and some of the trust busting they've been doing.
Trust busting, okay.
Like Musk, hate that lady's guts over there at the Trade Commission. He's not that opposed to her. So this is where some people are like, I don't know, is JD good for markets or not? Ultimately, it's a VP, right? I mean, this is like us having a debate over like how much of an impact Kamala has on the markets. I'm not trying to discredit JD, okay? I'm just saying, like, ultimately, it's like going to be Trump's policies that matter here. But
yeah,
anyway, he wants to make it hard for China to take Taiwan, wants to see more weapons going to Taiwan rather than Ukraine. He does think peace in Ukraine is achievable. When he's asked about the 2020 election and what he thinks in terms of, rigged election or stolen election, he thinks that censorship, tech company manipulation, and the media affected the 2020 election in a way that they hadn't in 2016.
Yeah, 100%.
He also argues that Pence should not have suppressed the people's concerns about the certification of the election in 2021 regarding the 2020 election, obviously.
Yeah.
He gives this interesting argument I hadn't thought of before. He made this argument that was sort of like pro more minimum wage increases because his argument was, hey, like, yeah, some people at McDonald's, for example, are going to be...
Like, if we drop the prices of how much we have to spend, then I don't think we would have to raise the minimum wage, right? I might be wrong, might be dumb, but... if we drop the prices of things somehow and fix the economy, people wouldn't have to have higher wages, right?
replaced with kiosks. And those kiosks are going to provide value for making it easy for people to order. Great. But the people who are left at McDonald's will have more responsibilities and get paid more. And then the people who are no longer working at McDonald's, they can hopefully go on to get a better skill set or a better job somewhere else. Okay. It's actually an argument I haven't heard of before. I don't horribly disagree with it. I'm generally anti-price controls from the government. I could see JD as a little bit more trusting in sort of the power of the government's hand here.
No,
the FTC
no.
And this minimum wage argument. Again, it's the VP, it's not the president. If we limit illegal immigration, oh yeah, and then he talks about limiting illegal immigration, so that way companies are forced to hire from the existing pool of hardworking Americans.
Okay, that is a W.
Okay, fair. Totally for eliminating illegal immigration. Big fan of making it easier to have more legal immigration. Anyway, something else that we saw is Robert F. Kennedy today. It was announced to have Secret Service protection.
Yes.
Now, call me jaded on this one, but I think this is rigged. And I'm going to show you why I think this was rigged, the timing of this.
In light of this weekend's events, the president has directed me to work with the Secret Service to provide protection to Robert Kennedy Jr.
There it is. Okay, so RFK gets protection from the Secret Service, but literally right after that, I quote tweeted the following. It says here, Donald Trump met Monday morning with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to discuss the possibility of his endorsement per Politico. And I'm like, ha ha ha, it all makes sense now. Biden hears Trump's trying to get RFK's endorsement. Biden gives RFK...
It's funny, bro. They're all trying to get RFK Jr. out of the race. Why is that, right? Why are they trying to get RFK Jr. out of the race? Now, that really boggles the brain, right? This is a person who seems reliable, maybe a plant, we don't know, right? He seems really reliable. He goes deep into detail about the issues of Americans. No one else has been talking about the housing price crisis. And he seems like he can really come to peace with these other countries. And he doesn't like the system, right? And it reminds me of Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, right? He said, we do not need more government to fix us, right? And that's the thing. That is awesome. But Ronald Reagan did sell guns to terrorists one time. Whoops. But I mean, it's just weird that both parties are going against him so tough, right? They want him to drop out of the race. Why is that? Now, that's the question we need to ask them. Why do they want RFK to be out of the race? I have to change my battery real quick in my camera. I sound a little like a Starbucks person when I said that. I love Starbucks. I'm in the closet. No, not really. 1 second, boys. Yeah, but it's crazy to see that both parties want him gone, right? They want him gone out of the race. Trump is trying to get him to endorse him, and he could probably get him a job, right? And Biden is giving him Secret Service protection. Oh! Dropped my camera. It's all good. It didn't die. Thank goodness. But it's kind of crazy. Now that kind of puts me back on writing RFK Jr. That puts me back on track, man. Because it's kind of odd. Maybe we're all wrong about RFK Jr. That's why we need to research him more and see what he's all about. I like a lot of his stuff. Not abortion, though. Got to see what he thinks on the First and Second Amendment. He loves free speech. But what does he think about the Second Amendment? Now, that's, for me, as a Southern man, as a Southern boy, he loves his cousins. That's really important for me, honestly. As many Americans in our country. Don't look at my butterflies. But it's kind of crazy to see that everyone is pushing him out, trying to cancel our boy. RFK Jr. Now, let's look at RFK Jr., right? I need my glasses to look intelligent because I have autism. But it definitely seems odd that they're trying to cancel him. They're trying to kick him out of the race. Now, why is that? Why are they doing these things? Some people think he's a conspiracy theorist. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But some of the things, he's right on the money. Now, we gotta look on his views on climate change, because he's been a lawyer fighting like climate problems for over 30 years, right? But we gotta look more into that. That'll be a next stream for another day, right? So we get the full depth, right? We're gonna be following all of this, most likely. But it is definitely crazy to see that he is being pushed out. All sides. The Republicans do not like him. The Democrats don't like him that much. I mean, who do the Democrats have to choose from? Just saying, right? Not talking down to them. I just want to give them a hug and a kiss on the cheek. They can put their soft hands on me, dog. I'll do nothing. Because, I don't know. I'll be in my chair in the corner like Sneeko and Destiny. Shout out them. But it's definitely crazy to see that both sides are kicking him out. Boys, it's crazy to see that people were wishing Alt 4 in video game on Trump Daddy. No, I'm joking. But on him, which I don't think that's right. No one should be Alt 4'd in a video game, because, you know, death is nothing to play with, right? Death is not good. We should not wish it on anyone, especially future presidents of the United States. I mean, that's not cool, right? We're all people. We're all children of God, right? And it's not good, in my opinion, not trying to be rude, to like wish harm onto others. Like the golden rule. I think I need to follow that, and a lot of people, not trying to tell people what to do or be rude, but say, hey, he deserved it. I don't think that's good, honestly, right? But back to the main point, the main discussion. It's crazy how RFK is being pushed out on everything. But one gripe I have with RFK, right, is the secret call he let out, right? The secret call. Look at me. The secret call he let out, boys, was definitely weird, right? I think that hurt him. Sorry for the eye bags. I haven't slept. I've been dreaming about RFK. Okay, that was weird. Psychopath over here, right? We've been mewing. Okay, a little weird. But the phone call with RFK Jr. was definitely weird, to let something like that out and for Twitter to see probably 1 million views on it, right? Most likely close to that. And it was like a private conversation. And it was edited down. That was the weirdest part. Like, if you're going to do something like that, let the whole thing out, you know what I mean? Let the whole video out, where you don't out yourself to look like the bad guy, right? I think they messed up on that. Now, there's two ways we can view this, right? On the call. Either it was like an awful mistake, or they edited it down and wanted to try to out Trump on what? He didn't say awful things in that call, right? And especially about doing like good things. It sounded like he wanted him to drop out the race and endorse him, right? So very weird. And boys, I don't want to be like every YouTuber. Please like the stream. Let me know that you want to see more of these, and I'm going to shut up about that. New Logan Paul here. No. No, I'm joking. We love Logan Paul over here. We love everyone. But let's see what this guy has to say about the stuff I was yapping about.
Service protection same day. Biden hopes RFK stays in the race / takes votes from Trump.
Oh, hold up. I forgot to show you guys the thing. My bad. We'll just keep it right there. I think that's good. Hold up, let me make it bigger so you can see it. Okay, there we go. Now that's pretty big. Didn't mean to say it like that.
Politics is. Yeah, I kind of stand by that thesis. It's all a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's seriously all a game. I mean, too little, too late, realistically.
Yeah.
But anyway, he should have had that protection a long time ago, just because he's an independent candidate. You know, I know there was a low chance he's gonna win, but still, you don't want to see another candidate get attacked.
Of course. But I think RFK still have a chance to win if he proves himself after this. I mean, that's important, right? He proves himself that what happened with the phone call, you know, and he'll do the stuff that he says he will do. I mean, that's the problem here, right? He's saying all these wonderful things that we want to hear as Americans. Now, the man that said all these wonderful things years ago, that did some of them and actually stand up for it, was, of course, RFK, but before him, FDR, right? FDR, he helped the United States change and get through the Great Depression, and then another person that changed the United States before him, which is weird. Another Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt, right? He changed the country for the better. He created peace in the world. First president to get a Nobel Peace Prize, right? I mean, there's only a few presidents that will actually say what they're gonna do. I don't say trust any of these fellows. I'm not going to. I'm not trying to tell you guys what to do, but at the end of the day, I say trust God. That's all I can say about that, man. Not trying to force that on you, but we can't trust any of these politicians, especially the Congress people. I mean, how long have they been in Congress for? In the Senate? It's insane how long these people have been in Congress and Senate. Nothing has changed. Nothing, right? Same old, same old. And it's a rich man's war and a poor man's fight. Nothing's going to change unless we come together as Americans. And RFK saying some nice things. Donald Trump, he's doing better, hopefully. But yeah, most of these politicians, man, we can't trust them all that much. But we're going to look more into RFK Jr. and fully see what he believes in, boys. But else than that, my guys, I think we're going to end the stream here. It's been fun. An hour and a half or something, close to that. Crazy stream. Didn't plan on doing it today, but, you know, I think it's good we did. We jumped on the sauce. You know, the call was a waste of time, probably. Not enough information on that, man. Just not enough info to really put our foot in the ground, right? So,